the little stars around those ones so that I can find them easily. Otherwise they disappear amongst all the other ones. But you'll notice that sign-ups is the word I use when they're coming in from BookFunnel or Prolific Works or newsletter swaps and that kind of thing. And I use subscribers once they're actually on the list. And that's another way I can tell, but it's, you know, it's easier if you've just got the stars, you can find them. So I'm going to switch them onto the non-organic subscribers list. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do with MailerLite, I found that it doesn't actually take them off the previous list by moving them, which I think it's supposed to, it just doesn't. So then I'm going to remove them from the BookFunnel Hidden Duchess signups from that one as well. All right, so once you've got your 7 emails in the middle, you've shifted them back off, removed them from that group, they will then, when their email drops into MailerLite, they will start following that process through once you switch it on. Go switch it on up in the top corner. And that's how you can tell that it's on. I'm actually going to switch it back off because I don't really want anybody to start going through it. So that's it for doing it on MailerLite. It's a really straightforward process because you can just keep adding and adding and adding and adding onto it. In MailChimp, it's a different story. All right, so on MailChimp, instead of setting up a new group first, like we did with MailerLite, you set up a new tag. And the way that you do that, and the reason is that that tag is the one that's going to identify who is in your welcome sequence and who isn't. So we go to audience, which is the second one on the list there, and then you've got tags right there. And then you're just going to create tag, which is the little grey button over at the right-hand side there. So my tags are welcome sequence. And I also have a tag to tell me which one of the reader magnets they've accepted. So all you need to do is create tag, call it whatever you want. Mine was welcome sequence because that seems to be fairly, you know, obvious. And then click on create. All right, so now you've got your tag set up. You can do your automations, which are done from the button that says automations, strangely enough. And you're looking at my journeys, which is up here at the top. And you can see these are the 7 that I set up. But what you're going to do is click on create a customer journey. A classic automation is just a single email unless you sign up for the 3rd tier. So just use customer journey. All right, so I'm just going to call this one test. Oh, look at that, test journey. And it's come from, okay, so it's people who are going to come into the Hidden Duchess Reader Access Activated group. So I would have specified that group on BookFunnel or Prolific Works or wherever, and it would then send those emails to me. So we start building. It works very much the same. You're choosing where you start, and you don't start with the tag added because you haven't added it yet. So you want to start with signups. You want to include imported contacts. That's important. We'll talk more about that next week. So we save starting point. All right. If you click on the plus, it tells you to go pick something from the side here. So, okay, that's fine. We're going to send an email. So that's the same thing. Click on that. It asks us to give us the information. Their creative assistant will design it for you. I would never in my life let them do it. You do want to edit the subject. Welcome. Whoop. From Verity. Preview text is a line of text that ends up underneath in the inbox. You can fill that in. If you are going to use that, I'd suggest that you have a bit of a closer look at SEO, search engine optimization, and keywords, and fling a few keywords in there so that it works to improve your email score. All right, so then we can come here and select a template, and we've already got a template set up in there. We've got a few, but we're going to saved templates. Wow, I've got lots of untitled templates in there. And then I'm just going to use my monthly newsletter. Might need a double click. Might just be waiting. And then we do, this is exactly the same. You can delete things, you can change them. And I end with happy reading. There's the bottom bit that always stays there. So yeah, you set up your email however you want your email to look. Up here at the top right-hand corner is save and return to workflow. These are a bit dark, so you kind of need to know where you're going. So you're going to the top right-hand corner, save and return to workflow. And the intuitive thing then would be to click the plus, but it doesn't. You just have to go over to the side and choose something. So we're going to put our two-day delay there. We don't want it to be a week. We want it to be 2 days and save. All right. We can then send them, I did it again, send them another email if we want. No, we don't want. We don't want to do that at all. Remove, because we haven't put the tag on them. So we need to put the tag on them so that the rest of the sign-ups, the rest of the welcome sequence works. So this is add or remove a tag. Choose where in the journey to add the add or remove tag. Might put the tag in at the top actually. All right, and it's put it in there. So then we choose that. We want to add a tag and we want that to be welcome sequence and save. All right, so you can see at the bottom here, 4 of 4 journey points, and that I would have to upgrade to add more. So that's all that I can put on that journey, which is fine because I can create a second one. You can click continue here, but it's going to ask you to start that sequence up, but you don't want to do that just yet. So you can just click the X next to it, which is save and close. And then you would be creating your second journey. So test journey 2 and start building. And this time the starting point is from when the tag was added. And the tag is welcome sequence. So we save that starting point. And then again, we're sending an email to there. And then we're putting a delay on this one for 2 days. And we could send the next email here, but it's just easier to keep it all in line with each other. It's easier to finish that sequence there. That just kind of stops. We've done that around the wrong way. The delay should be first. Or did we put the delay on? We put the delay on the previous one. That's okay. I'm getting myself confused. Yeah, so then you would just close that one off, do the third one, which is the same, only you're delaying that then for 4 days, and then the next one would be for 6 days. The next one, it depends how many emails you want to do and how long you want to send them out for. And I've sent them out every 2 days for 2 weeks. That's just how mine worked out. So if you're sending out 3 and you want to send them out over a week, you might send them on day 1, 4 and 7, you know, so you would just delay the in-between time on that. So yeah, the last one of your journeys, I'll show you my last one in here so you can see. They've had the tag, they've had the 12-day delay, they get the last email, and then that welcome sequence tag is removed. And that's from over here, that's add or remove a tag. So that they come off your welcome sequence and they're just sitting on your normal newsletter subscribers. All right. So once you've set them all up, you would then just go through and turn them all on and wait for the people to start rolling in, which we'll be looking at next week. Let me just go back to the PowerPoint. Stop sharing that. Hello, everyone. Start sharing that. So it's a relatively straightforward process on both of them. It's just a little bit more annoying on MailChimp. So I hope that with that you've gotten enough information to go ahead and set up your own welcome sequence. If you still have any questions or you're stuck somewhere or something doesn't go right or there's other problems that you have with it, feel free to give me, to email me, bree@breeverity.com, and I can help you. It does take time because you've got to write the emails and you've got to dig up the pics and you've got to make it look pretty and all of that, but it does take time and patience, but it is definitely something worth doing in the long run. So what we've learned today is that a welcome sequence is a method to get non-organic readers on your list and also to filter out the tire kickers, as well as introducing you to your actual target readers. Can be as long or as short as you want, but at minimum it should be 3 emails. It needs to introduce you, your writing and your author persona. So you don't have to be 100% yourself, but you need to be the author persona that you're trying to portray. You might remember last week I was saying how much I like Supernatural, and I watched the second last episode ever the other day, but it isn't relevant to my newsletter subscribers, so it's not something that I include in amongst all of my welcome emails, or indeed anywhere on any of my newsletters. I stick to things that are going to interest both me and my readers. So if you haven't already done so, feel free to set up your newsletter templates, set up your welcome sequences, and continue to prepare your reader magnets, because we're going to need that next week. If you don't have one, you can still watch, but it is all a lot more exciting if you do have one to actually deploy. Making sure it's genre specific, theme specific, matched to your books, and has a cover and a short description. If you need a hand with any of this stuff, give me a hoy. I do this for a living, so yeah, if you've got your book, if you've got the first couple of chapters of your book but you don't actually know how to put it into a Mobi or an EPUB, give me a hoy. We can sort that out. So Thursday's live session will be marketing strategy, setting up templates, newsletters, audience sizes, a bit more audience psychology if we want to talk about that, and any comments, questions, issues, interesting things that you've come along. Now, next week is putting it all together, which is using your reader magnet along with your welcome sequence, book funnel, etc., newsletter swaps. This is where we get into how you find that non-organic audience and where to go and what to do to get those guys to join your list. It's really the meat of this entire thing. This is how we make it happen. So, does anybody have any questions or comments before we finish up tonight?